Hello, my name is Gabriela Fagundes. This video is part of an experiment of a series of videos I've been recording since November as an experiment of speaking to the camera and to you and sourcing whatever comes without any script or timeline or trying to make things make sense and speaking without cutting or pausing myself, because I had this custom when I was recording to cut myself or to watch and see and judge and say this is not working, this is bad, I'm not speaking so clear, this controlling. So I'm just recording, and the first thing that comes, that's it, what I share. And in this video I want to update since the last time I recorded what have happening in my life and what I discovered until now in my research about radical freedom. And right now I'm speaking from New Zealand, north of South Iceland. I'm in the region that called Golden Bay, in the house of Rita and Jacopo, two possibilitator human beings that I met on the way here. I've met them in groups, online groups in the past, and it's been amazing to spend time with them. And I arrived in New Zealand already 3 weeks ago, and since then I get more off and sharing and writing and being outside. And one piece of the radical freedom I've been finding in myself is that radical freedom, it's not connected with traveling or being in movement. And I had a piece of footwear that being free is necessarily connected with being in movement and being like traveling. And this came from the idea that if I have roots or if I more time in a place, I started to experience not freedom. Like I started to experience this stuckness. And what I discovered being here in New Zealand and wanting to be more time here, like more than 3 months, is that the freedom is a inside state that is not an outside circumstance. And it is so crazy because I had a dream this night that shows or that reveals somehow that the discovery I'm experiencing, that the radical freedom, the sensation of being radical free, the state of being, is not and something that you depend on some circumstance. And the dream was, how can I make it shorter? Basically, I did something wrong in the dream that made me criminal. And this thing I did in the dream brought me to the prison, to a literally prison. And in this prison, I first was freaking out, like I was crying in the dream and scared about being 30 years. In the dream, I was condemned by 30 years to be at the prison. So it was actually more a nightmare. And then after this phase of being freaking out and wanting to escape and to run away from the prison, I started to create a revolution in this prison, and I started to hold space for people there. It was a prison for women, and I started to hold space for women to go into their rage and to learn to feel and to learn to communicate. And inside of this prison, in that dream, I had this sensation of being so alive. And it was crazy because I was improvising and doing what I do in that dream, and training people and empowering this woman to stop fighting with each other and starting to holding space for each other. And the sensation in the end of the dream was that I was so free, even inside of prison. And then I started to think about some people that wrote some books, that when they went to literally the prison, it's the place where they found freedom. There is this movie that is called Pilot, Vow, something like that. I think it's Pilot, where the guy he is alcoholic and he drive a airplane, and in this airplane he crashed the airplane, and he go through process, like the police is process him, and they discovered that he was driving the airplane with 300 people under being drugged. And he go to prison, and in the prison is where he discovered his freedom. And I'm giving that two pictures because somehow when we are in a more clear prison, it's easier to find the place of the freedom. When the prison is so clear, because you go inwards, because you go inside. And in a prison context, in a criminal prison context, there's nothing else to do. This was what happened in my dream. It's like every day I was waking up and there was nothing else to do to distract me from the prison, to distract me from the pain of being in the prison. So everything that relies, it was who I am, what I do inside of myself and what emerges from it. And this is what I'm experiencing. I'm not in a literally prison, but like we have these invisible prisons inside of ourselves that is not so visible as the steel of the prisons that criminal people goes. But we live in kind of prisons. For example, when we think we cannot live, generate money from our non-material value, from our passion, and we have to work to a cooperative job to earn money. This is a kind of a prison. Or when you think you have to look in a certain way, or being beautiful, or fitting another person's expectation so you are accepted. This is another kind of prison. So there's different kind of prisons we are in, and most of them are invisible to us. And this is what cuts the possibility of freedom of movement. And I think that traveling, it's an amazing possibility to expand and to meet the strange, and expanding. That's like, wow, this is possible. This way of living is possible. This another way of living is possible, but it's not the unique way. So this was one of the pieces of the research I'm unfolding. And another piece I want to share in that video with you is when you move into places where your being, like you as being, and your non-material value, what you bring in the world naturally, it's valued, it's appreciated. And by appreciated, I don't mean just people like saying beautiful, thank you, this is so good what you do. I mean that people can use it, what you're bringing, that people are transformed and touched, and they're becoming, like they become while you are becoming. There is a healing that happens, at least it's in me, it's happening that something expands, uh, and this something is, I think my heart have been expanded here since I landed in New Zealand, where I'm putting myself in places, I'm letting my heart and my instinct, my intuition guide me to homes, to connect with people, to create with people, where I can feel this magnetic pull towards this, what I bring, the clarity, the questions, the aliveness, the creation power that I bring with myself. And this is coming more and more out. And as this is coming more and more out, and it's been appreciated and valued, which means that people are using it. People are like, people are being fed by it. I'm feeling more and more space to create from joy and from my center, instead from pressure. And this is, it's been such a relief, like such a ecstasy to create from that place, from the now, from the necessity where I am, and from this pull that is natural. And I'm writing this article, I hope I will post it soon, about making peace with the source. And it's a lot about shifting the creation from pressure. I have to do that. I procrastinated. I should already be doing that. I said I would do this thing until Friday, and I didn't yet. And moving from this pressure into the ecstasy of creating in the now. And by being in peace with the source doesn't mean just feeling glad. It's being okay with feeling whatever you are feeling. And for example, one of the main feelings I'm feeling while I'm creating in that places where I'm moving here in New Zealand, it's fear. It's this fear of not knowing how it will be while creating with that person, what will emerge, what the shape will take. And it's being okay with that, what I'm feeling, and not wanting to feeling in a different way. So this has been the two main pieces of the journey until now in New Zealand, that has opening a lot of radiance and joy and freedom in my system. That is this connection, this connection of traveling and freedom, and reconnection of freedom with moving from inside, like being in my center of creation, in alignment with who I am. And the second piece is that what I was sharing about putting yourself in places where you're being, and what you bring, it's valued and it's used. And I'm checking if I have something else. Yes, that's what I have for now. That radical freedom starts in the place where the creation unfolds as a side effect of being who you are. And this emerges from taking a step to let everything drop. And this is the piece that I was missing, and I am bringing now, because it took me to let everything drop, cancel commitments, take this 1 month that I was when I was in Indonesia, in in emptiness, in nothingness, to hold space for the nothingness, to see what emerged. And it sounds paradoxical because this nothing space, it seems in they're selfish. It seems that was for me, like that was doing things just for me. And I was so scared because, wow, I said, I'm creating this crowdfunding and I'm saying that I'm providing value outside to people, and I'm doing these things for me. And what I got is that it took that first step to you hold space for yourself, to drop make things and hold space for this nothing, so the authentic and genuine generosity and service can come. So what I have for now alive, and I'm scared about the amount of speaking and the not sense, and I'm glad of taking this practice again of speaking in the camera and let the stuff come. Any questions, or if you want to connect more with me, call me. I'll be glad to talk with you about anything it came up here or whatever you want to speak about. Bye.